Anyway, I'm going to go meet a friend of mine, a writer friend, Robbie Cox. Tell you a little. I met him online, actually. I'll tell you a little story, a little backstory of how this happened. Back in 2012, August of 2012, when my father was dying, and around the same time I won first prize at a fiction writing contest, Balboa Press, and I got my first novel pitch published in print. And I didn't know all the resources there were to writers. Back at the time, I just wrote just to write. I just submitted pitch on a lark to Balboa Press's contest, thinking it's really not their genre because they're all into spiritual books and stuff. But it won first prize. And then somebody said, okay, well, now you need to start promoting it, because and you look on all the articles about how to promote your book, and one of them said Twitter, so I got myself a Twitter account and looked and found out that every other writer was promoting their book the same way. So I started looking at all the different writers. My attitude towards the other writers was not, oh, these are competition, but rather because readers don't read just one book. So if readers only read one book in their lives, other writers would be competition. They're not. They're a community, because readers read multiple books. They read and buy multiple books. So I was just looking at the different writers, the ones that had a presence on Twitter, because that's where I started, and learning about them. But I'll tell you why Robbie jumped out at me quickly, very, very briefly.
Turn left onto North Riverside Drive.
We're not taking Riverside Drive. Sorry, sweetheart.
Continue on North Riverside Drive for 4 miles.
We're not on Riverside Drive.
Continue on O'Galley Causeway for 1.5 miles.
Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so anyway, Robbie, what it was his avatar on Twitter at the time. He had his hat, which is a trademark. If you'll let me videotape you for this video, you'll see it. He had a cigar, had a beard. I go, this guy looks like a freaking writer. I don't know why. So I clicked on him, and I saw he had a blog called The Mess That Was Me. I think now he calls it The Mess That Is Robbie Cox. But it was just called The Mess That Was Me, That Is Me. And I read it. He wrote about just the simple things of life, the simple observations of life, Seinfeld-esque observations of life. He didn't quite have the... He didn't do it with the Seinfeld sense of humor. He had his own sense of humor, so he wasn't trying to be cute like Seinfeld. He just wrote about these things, and he wrote well, and I really, really liked his blog. And I reviewed his book. His only book at the time was Reaping the Harvest. He's written a ton of books since, 5 or 6 books. Maybe he'll tell us about them. Reaping the Harvest, which is a fantasy novel I really enjoyed. I saw parallels to Thomas Covenant, which is a series I like, and he's actually working on a second series for this Reaping the Harvest.
In a half mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto North Harbor City Boulevard.
Come on, we're having a conversation here. Shut up. Left Harbor. Okay, I got you. So we're going to go meet him. Actually, I connected with him online. We became friends on Facebook. We've been sharing things back and forth for 3 years now. Gee whiz. I've been propping his blog when I can. I don't prop other writers like I should. They prop me more, and I haven't put out much since, well, anyway. We're going to go meet Robbie. Author Robbie Cox. Tell us just really quickly the books you've written.
I've got 9 totals out there now, 9 titles out there now. Reaping the Harvest, my first, an urban fantasy. Then we've got then we've got Losing Faith. Most of them are in the romance genre, erotic romance. Turn this down. The Losing Faith, Roll the Dice. We got a new adult romance, Sibling Rivalry, which came out last year. Currently, I'm working on a series called Fangirls, which follows the fangirls of authors and cover models at an author signing event and some romantic entanglements that happen.
That's
little
awesome.
Short novelettes, 99 cents each, really quick.
Awesome, that's pretty cool. What got you into writing? Have you always been a writer? I know you tell me about your previous...
I've written, I started writing in high school basically as a way to avoid listening to the teachers. It was my escape, and I continued doing it. I finally took it seriously back in 2011, 2012, when I started actually working on books. Reaping the Harvest actually was a short story turned into a novella, and getting that put together and taking it seriously. Now I'm doing it full time.
Okay. Well, for those of you who, I'm just going to quickly say, this is the only book of his I've read. I read it on Kindle. I really enjoyed it. He just signed a copy for me. One of the reasons I wanted to meet Robbie is because I consider him a real writer.
Thank you.
there's on the internet. I'll say quickly. There are what I call writers, and there are people I say are still kind of creative typists. If you understand like that.
Yes.
Do you have an idea of what the difference of that is? Is it to you? How does one make a transition from creative typist to writer?
I think taking the craft seriously, learning what you need to do to make it flow, to learn what character development is, correct the mistakes in the book, and know what it makes it look professional. Follow continuity, setting, plotting, making sure it's just studying the craft. I think some people get an idea, write a story, and then it's down on paper, it's done, they publish the first thing they put out.
Yeah.
A writer, an author, you're looking at 5 to 10 drafts, constantly cutting, throwing away scenes, adding new scenes, and working it.
Yeah.
And treating it like a job and not like a hobby.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to add? I'm going to put this up on Facebook if that's okay with you.
It's fine with me. Actually, it was a pleasure meeting you too. I enjoyed our morning with coffee and everything else. But it's good to get out there and support each other. You've been a big support over the past years.
He's signing his book, Reaping the Harvest. This is the only book of his I've read, actually. I read it on Kindle and really enjoyed it. I did a review of it online, which I can share.